it's Marina, travel experta, and today we're going to be talking about salt flats. Are you guys ready for an adventure? Let's begin. Whenever I visit any place in the world, it doesn't matter if it's half an hour from where I'm living to going someplace internationally. I always have like a mini bucket list of what I want to see and do when I'm in that particular place. Usually they are quite local, and a lot of times they're either free or super cheap. So they're not like some of, obviously you will get some of those super expensive ones like I've done. When I was in Utah, we did the snowmobiling tour. I have a whole podcast on that. I recommend you guys listening to it. But that costs like $550 for like a 2-hour thing. But the majority of the stuff that I do choose is usually free or super cheap. And one of those was super high on my list, and that was the Bonneville Salt Flats. So what is the Bonneville Salt Flats? You're going to the great area, the Salt Lake City area in Utah. And I was like, what is Salt Lake? What is this about? So that's how I found out about the Bonneville Salt Flats. It's about an hour and a half from Salt Lake City itself. You could take a bus or you could drive. And the coolest thing about driving there, it is completely flat. You're allowed to drive 80 miles per hour, but there is not a single cop anywhere around. We were hitting 110 and no problem. It was so much fun, just that part. So as you're coming closer to the Bonneville, the Salt Flats, which is a 12 by 5 mile of flat salt flats. Literally, it's just a salt crusted region that is 5 feet thick, and you could walk all over it. Just to get an idea, it's like 300,000 acres. Like, it's unbelievable, right? It is so beautiful. The only place that I've ever seen anything like this was when I entered into La Paz, going to Bolivia from Chile, and you cross over this amazing salt area. Anyways, so I had to see it and take my kids on it. It is so cool. They even have this time, if you're going to be planning it around, there's this one time called Speed Week when they actually have these racers that race on the actual salt flat. It's really cool. You need to find out exactly when it is because it's usually different all the time, but it's usually towards the end of September, around that time. But you have to check every year, right? So they do like these speed weeks. Anyway, so we weren't there for that time. We were there in March, and you just drive up there and you can just walk around and even taste it. It's kind of cool. I mean, it is something that you will never, ever really see anywhere in the world. And it's totally free to get there. It's so cool. I can't even explain it to you, right? Like, I really recommend, if you guys have, it will take you an hour and a half to get there, an hour and a half to come back, and only about 30 minutes to actually spend there, because that's all really what you need. And so you're talking about maybe 5 hours in total. So you could leave in the morning and come back in the afternoon. It is so recommended because it's something so unusual and so different. And you could run on it. You could even take your car on it. I saw a lot of people taking their cars on it. You could walk on it. You could picnic on it. The one thing is, there's absolutely no restaurants. There's absolutely nothing around there. So make sure that you come with a full tank of gas. There are 2 gas stations, but they're like 90 miles apart. So make sure that you do have all of that with you, and bring some food and water, because none of that is anywhere around there. We're talking like for miles and miles and miles. It is just stark, just nothing but salt flats, literally. It is super cool. So if you guys have a chance to do something different wherever you're visiting, I recommend putting in a little bucket list and finding that time. And if you are visiting Utah, especially around the Salt Lake region, Salt Lake City region, go and check out the Bonneville Salt Flats. I guarantee you will love it. And if you guys want to get more ideas of free, cool things to do wherever you're visiting, I have a ton on travelexperta.com. That's travel expert with an A.com. And if you guys enjoyed this episode, please make sure to leave me a review and share it with your friends. And remember to always make every day an adventure.